Your pregame show talk and analysis from yours truly, Law Nation Sports. Let's go. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Shout out to the early gang squad. Let's continue to grind to shine. Appreciate each and every last one of you all, by the way, for subscribing and being part of the nation. We got the active report.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Your midday support and analysis from yours truly. Let's go. Come on. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yeah. Shout out to the Walmart Cowboys too, the Texans. Yeah.
What is your profession?
Come on. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's good? It's game day live from yours truly, Cowboy Nation, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to go over this particular game, and of course, this will also be the James Washington Bowl, right? We get a chance to see James Washington. Shout out to you, Peg Cons. It's on the Facebook. Appreciate you. I'm good to know that I'm live on Facebook. Appreciate everybody. Big Hunt, appreciate you. And Asmodeus and Manning and Robert Griffin. Are you the third, the fourth, or the first, right? Shout out to you, Robert Griffin. Appreciate you for jumping in. Ghostface Gaming, he's already saying, go Giants. Hey, I feel you, fam. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know which team you're rooting for today. If you team Dallas Cowboys, let me see DC for life in the chat. And if you are a Texans fan, let me see some Texans love up in there, man. If you somehow rooting for the Texans. Shout out to Eastside Harold, man. I haven't seen him in a minute. We hope all is well with him, right? And shout out to him wherever he may be. 24/7 Cowboys, don't be fooled by the Texans. Law Nation Sports. Hey. Yeah. Is there a little fear coming from you? Because, hey, all I can do is just talk about the tape, right? Yeah, hey, I don't take no opposition lightly. Nevertheless, if the Cowboys are who they say they are, then they should be able to dominate and do all of those things, right? It's time out for, hey, man, can't take a team lightly. That should have been already dealt with when you played against the Green Bay Packers, right? Everything else, you should showcase your talent, right? And when I look at this, I say, okay, Cowboys, since Dak Prescott returned, I look at this thing, number one on offense points per game. Total yards per game, number 2. Sacks, number 1, first. Third down, first, And then on the defensive side of the coin, 3rd in points per game, 5th in total yards per game, 1st in sacks, right? 3rd down, 5th. So based off of these numbers alone, the Cowboys supposed to take care of business. And if they don't take care of business today, in a few hours, 1 hour, then we can stop talking about deep runs and playoffs. We can stop talking about SB. We can start talking about the draft at this point. If they don't showcase who they are and what they bring to the table, regardless of the stats. I know it's any given Sunday, but we've been denied for so long, right? Let's do this. Let's go. Let's get it if you want it. You're supposed to go out there and fight for it, right? And I'm not saying that these boys are not built that way. They should be. That's just the bottom line. When the boot see the ant, The ant don't look at it saying that, hey, we got a chance. It's over if that boot hit and connect with the ant. That's how we should be. We are the boot. And the Texans should be the ant. Unless we don't play up to our potential. So that's just the reality of it. Shout out to you, William. Appreciate you. Superior King 1, appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in. So this should be the situation and the scenario and everything else. Now, what are we looking for in this game? Levels of consistency. I pulled up this right here, and let me see if I got it still. And the levels of consistency, follow the blueprint is what I said. And the blueprint is, let me slide that over. Let me make it look good over there for y'all. And a shout out to my guy Ezekiel Elliott. A lot of people got him casted out or what have you. But if you guys can read the caption at the bottom of that template, it says, since last season, when Ezekiel Elliott carries the ball 15 plus times in a game, the Cowboys' record is 16-0. Can y'all see that at the bottom of the screen? It states that, I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to read it out. They say it's good to read things 3 times to commit it to memory. But this would be my second time. Since last season, when Ezekiel Elliott carries the ball 15 plus times in a game, the Cowboys' record 16-0. I'm going to say this one more time so we can contextualize it and have it in our minds forever. Since last season, when Ezekiel Elliott carries the ball 15 plus times in a game, the Cowboy record is 16-0. Do that say 0-16? Is there a negative loss on that thing? No. Meaning that if you take care of your business and if you do your thing and if you handle your responsibilities, then there's the victory. There's the victory. Now, I know stats, you can always shape them and mix them into how you want them to fit you. Just like when the Cowboys were up by 14 points, right? In the fourth quarter, their record was 109 or something like that. Now it's 109-1. That's us against the Green Bay Packers, right? But you got to understand you can control your own destiny if you take care of business. Law, do you have any truth to that? Yeah. Last season when we were in the playoffs, the coach really announced that the team was nervous. The only time when you become nervous is when you are in a spot that you don't belong, in a position that you don't supposed to be in, or you didn't study, right? A person that really understand or know who they are or what they are about, they don't feel nervous. Show of hands who didn't study for a test and they had to take that said test and got to shaking and quivering because you knew in the hearts of hearts you didn't do what you supposed to do to take advantages of the situation. You'll be so nervous that even if the teacher said it's an open book test, but by you not studying and by you not preparing yourself and your mind to it or for it, you don't pass it. Right. My guy Choctaw says never quiver, right? So, but shoot, when you study, you already know. You don't even need the open book would just slow you down because you already have the answers to the test. And right now, the Cowboys, this is week 14. They should already have the answers to the test. They should already be battle tested. They should already had their peaks. They should already had their lows. And they should already know how to contextualize everything that they put together and say in this game, what we call sports, It's not an easy one, but we've been here before, and based upon our talent and our skill set and our sure will and being at home, we shall be victorious. We have the confidence. Right? So that's just how it goes, y'all. Got to get my eye patch and peg leg ready. Shout out to you, your doing your mom. Appreciate you. Well, get it ready, man. Be prepared. Yeah, the piece on the Diggs brother was nice. Yeah, I saw a piece with that, and I saw a piece with Diggs' son. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Law is our Cowboys coach, man. They'll run me up out of there, man. Hey, man, he talking too harsh on us, man. Get him up out of there. I'm old school, you know, in a young mindset. Don't forget the formula. This is Brandon Ross. Yeah, you stay on the pathway of the formula, and everything will work its way out. We got less than 30 minutes before kickoff, Cowboy Nation. The inactives, I got it right here. Appreciate you, and thank you for reminding me to go over this. All right, so according to my guy John Machota, the Cowboys inactive versus the Texans. Appreciate y'all for keeping me on the page. Jalen Tolbert. Might as well redshirt the guy for the remainder of the year, right? And go back and say, all right, hey, man, we don't want to rush you. We want to look at you for the 2023 season. Look, if you can gain all you can from Noah, all you can from Gallup, and all that you can from CeeDee Lamb, and then Noah Brown would be a good person to look at because it took him 6 or 7 years, or 6 years to get to where he's at now. Look at him, you know. And that's a situation and scenario that we all can look back at and say with Jalen Tolbert, maybe next year, man. Because I had Jalen Tolbert, ladies and gentlemen, in the same mold as a Gallup, the way he high-point the ball into South Alabama, right? And his yards after catch, I had him as a very poor man CeeDee Lamb. So hopefully that potential will be able to birth into a new beginning next season. But not for this season, for right now. Marquise Bell, he's inactive. I'm not mad about Marquise Bell being inactive, ladies and gentlemen. I like his skill set. I like what he brings to the table. I thank everybody for hitting that like button, sharing it, by the way. But the thing is with Marquise Bell, wait till next year, you know. There's no rush for him. He was undrafted for a reason. But he got a boatload of talent. Jabril Cox, to me, every single day, he's not starting. It's one of those missed opportunities of the Cowboys. But I look at guys that stood tall, and the load management that they do with this team is remarkable. Nevertheless, when you think of Jabril Cox, you have to say to yourself, this dude, J-Ron Kurt's playing too well, right? And the other guy that I know for sure he's going to make a play today. Yes, indeed, and that's Donovan Wilson. Those guys are playing just too well, right? And he's a hybrid in between a safety and a linebacker. 2023 may be his year as well. Will Greer, we understand, right? And, of course, Chauncey Golston, who's I love that man's game. He got everything. He got the world on his shoulder. The only thing that I would say maybe he need to get better at is at foot speed, right? Outside of that, he's strong, he's physical, and, you know, that edge role and even the 3-tech role, we got a lot of guys, a lot of boys up in there. Got a super chat. Appreciate you, 1758 gang. First support of the day, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Sup, Law? Listening and watching for a couple of years. Much success to you, bro. And better than 95% of the sports media clowns. Man, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, bro. You I've been fighting all these years, man. I've been fighting to get that success and that respect, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for real, man. We are where they want to be at. I saw a clip of Marcellus Wiley, who used to do First Thing First or on Fox, and he said, man, he had to leave because they try to water down the sports talk shows, and he going to sit back. He said he graduated from Columbia, Ivy League school. He just want to sit back and just do his own thing, and I respect that. They need him back. He's light years better than Shady McCoy, by the way. You know, Izzy up next. Yes, James. Yeah, and Izzy McCommell. He's a guy that I can tell you guys, man. He grew from one year to another, man, and I like what he brings to the table, by the way. The kid is phenomenal, and I think that the world will see next year.
Visit the Star District.
We're going to listen to some of the pregame talk from 105 to hear some of the interviews. Appreciate everybody. Oh, and LVE is battling injuries or illness, I meant to say. According to John Machota, he said that, here we go right here, LVE illness was questionable, but he will be active today. So he will be playing today, right? And then Cowboys safety J-Ron Curse was just helped to the locker room. He was walking but needed help from members of the training. Oh, no. We hope all is well, man. Let's see what they saying in the response. Bro, this game hasn't even started yet. Yeah, maybe he done pulled something, man. Yes, indeed. A lot of people. Little swears and here and there, you know. J-Rock is my guy. What they would do in this light would be Izzy is available, so they would just switch Donovan Wilson over to that spot. They'd switch Donovan Wilson over to that spot and then move Izzy in, or they would just go with two safeties and then elevate one of the linebackers. By you being now here's the thing. We playing against a team that got a lot of physicality with their running back, Damian. Is it Damone or Damian? Damian Pierce, right? He's a guy. He forced 31 missed tackles so far, right? Or broken tackles, I meant to say. So he's a big physical guy, and you would want to match up those physicalities with a J-Rock or with somebody with that mindset. Now, I'm not saying that my guy Donovan Wilson can't come down and lay the wood, but we talking about a dude that embraced the physicality, and I got him right here on my here we go right here. On my screenshot right here, number 31. So he's a guy that brings that to the table. Yes, he was injured during or via the warm-ups. Let me see if the radio station got any more updated news on this. Hold on.
Commercial break. And J-Ron Curse, the safeties and the defensive backs,
yeah, I hear that.
over on the near the sideline, in front of the Cowboy bench, about the 35-yard line, they practice high pointing the ball. So the defensive backs coach throws passes at him, and they leap and practice making interceptions, right? And when J-Ron came down, he landed awkwardly and then went down to the ground and needed to be helped to the locker room. So a couple of the staff were helping him walk up the sideline and up the tunnel. So a pregame injury to starting safety J-Ron Curse, and depth could be an issue at safety because one of your backups, the rookie safety Marquise Bell, is inactive today. That has to be turned in 90 minutes before kickoff, so you can't have him active once you made him inactive. So the Cowboys may be down a safety. I'll get more information as soon as I can on J-Ron Curse injuring his leg in pregame warmups.
Jeez.
Hey,
okay,
that's
a total bummer, Christy. Thank you so much for the time. My gosh.
Well,
just when we were praising the health of this team with Mike McCarthy.
Knock on some wood, y'all. Let's knock on some wood.
Right there. I tell you,
he might just need pickle juice.
And looking at Nick Eatman from DallasCowboy.com, he actually had the tweet of
Curse walking by, and he could really not put very much weight.
Looked like maybe an ankle?
Maybe a knee.
I don't
mean, again, we're speculating.
Sure.
But when she's talking about going up and coming down, that kind of thing, then
ankles,
you
knees,
worry about a hyperextension or something like that. But it looks
hip,
like that his leg was a little bit bulky on him right there.
Man, it's the second time this year. Jordan Lewis had an issue. He strained a groin or something in warm-ups earlier in the season.
That growing, you don't want to do that.
Bummer. Okay, Christy's going to have Stephen Jones in the owner's box here in just a moment. We'll get that. But first, let's continue to get to know the enemy. Brought to you by Arrow Exterminators, the official pest control.
Yeah, that is kind of like bad timing, man. And Marquise Bell, he's not active, y'all, and Jabril Cox. I would like for Jabril Cox to be squeezed right in there because Jabril Cox, we spoke to him, me and Boss Cowboy Sports, shout out to my dog, and he was glowingly of taking over the J-Rock spot, for the future. And this would have been a good situation for him.
Running yards to anybody. The Dolphins was another game where the Texans really struggled to run the ball as well. So, Dallas is going to be, and Curse plays a big part of that. That linebacker down in the box.
Yeah.
And so, how they'll get around that, we'll see. Maybe a little bit more with Wilson down in there, or maybe you'll go a little bit more with a little bit more base defense, but. That's one of those things I just think you have to worry about with the Texans. The only way that they can really, I think, can win this game is if they stay ahead of the chains by running the ball, and then they turn into short passing games, not where they have to do any depth at, dropping back and throwing the football, because I don't think their offensive line can hold up as well as they need to be.
Yeah, and now the Cowboys playing a man short defensively.
They are.
With the J-Ron Curse news. That's a bummer. We will have Christy rejoining us in a few minutes, get her keys to the game, and hopefully an update on J-Ron Curse. But let's go ahead and throw it back to Christy. She is live in the owner's box with Stephen Jones.
Throw it back at her.
Take it away, Christy.
Well, thanks, guys. And Stephen, we want to ask you about James Washington, the receiver, the free agent that you signed in the offseason. Finally, we get to see him make his Cowboys debut. What can we expect from James Washington in terms of how many plays and the kind of production you're looking for?
Well, he's had a good couple of weeks of practice. We decided not to activate him last week, so he's really gotten some time on, and he's ready to go. The exact pitch count, we'll just kind of see how things go. Obviously, he brings us a good vertical threat. That's where he was very efficient in Pittsburgh in terms of what he does really well for us. But think he'll do a great job out there for us today. And I see him getting 20+ snaps.
Similar to what you did with James Washington in terms of starting that 21-day clock. You did that this past week with left tackle Tyron Smith. So can you update the fans listening along the radio network about when we can expect to see Tyron?
Well, Tyron's done an outstanding job with Britt Brown, and really is ahead of where we thought he would be. He did a great job last week. We're going to hold him off. He won't play today. But fully expect him to start working back into the action starting next week. And, to get that kind of infusion for your offense, an all-pro left tackle that's one of the best to play the game, it's exciting for us. And, that offensive line in general, I think we got great depth. They've worked well as a unit. We're running the ball good. They're protecting Dak. And be able to get a player like Tyron Smith back's, a big deal for us.
What are your expectations for cornerback Kelvin Joseph? It's his second year, but now you're really having to depend on him with him stepping into the starting lineup because of the season-ending injury to Anthony Brown.
We've said around the building he may be our most talented corner we have. He's got everything you look for. He's got great length, great ball skills.
Y'all heard that.
He just needs to be consistent, and he's brought that to his game on special teams. Now he's got to do it at corner for us, and I fully expect that he'll go out there and play well. We're so fired up about getting him in the mix now and getting with it.
There have been reports at the end of the week about expected stadium upgrades here at AT&T Stadium, hundreds of millions of dollars in anticipation of the World Cup, which, of course, here in Arlington will help host in 2026. What are some of the things that we can expect? And you're going to be
just saying Law Nation 500,000, man.
Well, actually, they'll vote on that this week. But it's hard to believe. We're in our 14th year in AT&T, and it still does feel brand new in a lot of ways. But, I'm looking at this big video board above our head. Unfortunately, it's getting dated. and hard to find parts, believe it or not, for it.
No
so,
doubt, man.
you know, we're going to be updating the board. We'll be updating a lot of our audio, video around the building. Certainly looking at refreshing our suites after 14 years, and as well as some of our clubs.
Yeah, that video board, 14 years. Now when it shows up in the owner's box, I see a little more gray up there. So you need to work on the coloring, I guess, with that screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's gotta be off
Talk
a
to
little
him,
bit.
Christy.
I've got darker hair than that.
Hey, thanks a lot, Stephen. That's the view from the owner's box. And as we continue
27
down
minutes
to
before
Texans Cowboys
kickoff, baby.
Let's turn things back over to Brian and Eric.
Thank you, Christy. Stephen Jones with the jokes today. Feeling good in lead up to this game with the Texans, as the Cowboys are the largest favorite of the football
J-Rock
season.
back on the
Expected to
field.
win by
All he needed was
17
some pickle
points,
juice.
according to Vegas. Of course, the owner's box brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better
Better
pizza.
pizza, Papa
John's. We are under
John's.
30 minutes to a Cowboy kickoff. We continue to get you set as we go inside the booth with the voice of the Cowboys, Brad Sham. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
All right, so when they get back with Brad, man, let me know. So y'all said y'all saw J-Rock walking back out there. All he needed was some of that pickle juice, man. He probably caught that ball. Ah! My hammy, man. Let me go get some pickle juice, man. Yes, indeed. He went and got some of that pickle juice, man. Some cream. That's all he needed. That's what he needed, man. He came down funny. Y'all played the game. You come down funny. Then drink your electrolytes and all of that stuff. You needed some of that dill pickle juice, man. And then eat a piece of the pickle too, while you're hungry, while you're doing it, Yeah, man, they doing a $295 million renovation, man. I want to tell the Jones family, just slide your boy by $500,000. That will solidify my studio here, and I'll put like the stadium logo somewhere on all of my videos, man. Come on, Jerry. I know y'all got it, man. Or just give me a podcast suite somewhere at the stadium in Arlington, and I would really work for free. Just give me the studio access, I'll work for free, You don't have to pay me. I still keep my same operations and everything else. I just need the suite. That's what I would need, So J-Ron is back. Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Sweet pickle juice. Nah. He need the sour kind, but all of the he need that type of pickle juice. That'll help him out. Not the sweet kind. The sweet kind gonna mess him up a little bit. That's all he needed, man. Yes, indeed. Cooper Rush would have had 4 touchdown passes last week. This is from Jesus Melendez. Appreciate you. We don't know if Cooper Rush still is the unknown. I tell you what, I would trade Cooper Rush to the Texans for, if you so high on Cooper, let's trade Cooper Rush to the Texans for a second, a third, and a fourth round draft pick. If he's that great, let's trade him to the Texans. Let's get something back in return. Let's do that. Shout out to you, Ben. Appreciate you on the Twitch. Yes, indeed, man. Hey, you might be joking, but you can't get a podcast in the stadium. Real talk. Well, Robert, let's make it happen, baby. Let's make it happen, man. Curse is out today. No. They say he'll back on the field. I can't. When Brad Sham get back on, we'll listen to Brad Sham, and then we'll start our real play-by-play analysis talk show type of deal after we hear the mighty Brad Sham. Let's make that a deal. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I really do. Each and every last one of you all. Let me see what the Twitter world is talking about. The Twitter be on it, man. There you go, right here. See, good news. There you go, right there. Backpedaling. He back out there, y'all. Visible evidence that J-Rock is back out there, according to John Machota. This is from John Machota video clip. He's back out there. So what we're going to do is he probably needs some more synovial fluid in the knees, man. And pickle juice is a good way to get that synovial fluid activated, man. Just don't try to do those awkward passes and things like that on the sideline. Backpedal pretty good. Let me show y'all something. Yeah, keep it slight bend back, right? Shoulders over the knees just a little bit, right? And we're looking at that. Got to be more aggressive. His first release off his back pedal shuttle was a little off there. If you look at it, watch it. A little off right there. Get a little bit low with it. Yeah, get a little bit low with it, man. Yeah, he's a little too high, you know. But let's see. Because as a DB, you're going to move backwards more so than you're moving forward. And then you still keep your eyes centered to the quarterback. And if you got leverage on the field, make sure that you're gauging in the right and proper way. But you want to get a little bit lower than that, ladies and gentlemen. And that's J-Ron Curse, man. Shout out to him, man. He's a dog, baby. Yes, indeed, man. Where my dog button at, man? Where my dog up? Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate you for the support, B. We will have a much different back today. If J-Rock can go, we need him leading the team youngsters, you know. Well, I think he'll be back. You know, I think he just needed to get some of that. He needed to get some of that bomb fluid on his knees and legs, man.
But the good news is,
still on commercial. Shout out to Lubbock, Texas, in the house, man. Appreciate y'all. Tap game today. Tampa game. Yeah, well, Tampa Bay is playing the Niners, and we'll see how that goes. I know my brother, he can't wait to play that game. Jay Lombardi, appreciate you for the super chat, man. You know, appreciate you. It's time to eat. It's time to get it, baby. Who's cursed back up? It will be a situation where as they rotate, either Izzy or Donovan Wilson will slide over to his spot, and they will move Hooker down inside. Go look at my film analysis of Hooker last year. I mean, Hooker last year, he played close down inside as well. He's not just a free safety. He is a box safety as well. And then they'll insert Izzy, you know, he got some range about himself, man. But it's just depending on how they operate. And the craziest thing about the Dallas Cowboys defensive back room, we are a long way from Gerald Sensabaugh and Jeff Heath and J.J. Wilcox of the world, right? We are a long way from those boys, man. Yeah, so it is what it is, man. Let me see if they got it back.
Jam, Brad, happy game day, sir.
Go.
What is intriguing you the most today, Brad? Is it
Brad
the
Sham, baby,
debut
the
of James
voice of
Washington
the Cowboys,
offensively, or evaluating Kelvin Joseph as a starter at the cornerback position on defense?
Well, right now it's J-Ron Curse. We'll see what happens with that. I'm a little intrigued by Houston's defense. It's better than people think. And, they've only given up one touchdown in each of the last 3 games. Yep. And everybody just expects this to be a mail-it-in game. And I don't think that's the case. I think the Cowboys have to go out and win it. I am absolutely riveted on the Joseph thing. Everybody likes to talk trash about Anthony Brown. And they're fixing to find out how good a football player Anthony Brown is and has been. They may not need it today because the Texans really don't have a lot of wide receiver depth. They're probably going to run the ball and throw to their tight ends. But down the road, maybe beginning next week, the cornerback opposite Trayvon Diggs is going to play an important role in how far the Cowboys go. So I think every step Kelvin Joseph takes is definitely worth watching.
Brad, you mentioned Curse, and that takes you into that running game with the Texans, which they'll try. And then you mentioned the tight ends as well. This is going to be something worth keeping an eye on there for sure.
There's no doubt about that, although I do think that Israel Mukuamu is ready to, and he's done it a little bit this year, some when Curse was hurt before, but I think Mukuamu is ready to step forward and play a bigger role. But, Brian, by the way, has anybody wished you happy birthday tomorrow on the air yet?
I appreciate that.
Happy birthday, y'all, to Brian.
Sometime. Thank you.
Yeah. So the answer is no one has done it yet.
You're the first. Thank you.
He's the first.
Thank you very much.
Sorry about that.
We're the second.
But you're not
happy
that
birthday,
sorry,
Brian.
You would have done it already. I think that I asked Brian this question. I thought, and you and I This is why you and I have so much fun doing the preseason games. We're the only ones who care about this stuff.
Exactly.
I thought that they would elevate Mackenzie Alexander. And the reason I thought they would do that is that if heaven forfend something happens to Deron Bland, you now don't have a true nickel because that was Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
And so now who is the nickel if something happens to Brown?
Izzy
the
McComber.
answer I got before the game was, well, Curse can do that. Oh, well, guess what?
Yeah, no Curse.
Now, what if you don't have Curse? Now who's going to do that? And so they're going to have
That's
a
football.
So there's
though,
stuff coming up.
That's football,
hopefully it won't be an issue today, but there's stuff coming up. This is far from a settled situation that we're in here.
Yes, sir. No question about it. Brad Shim, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate the time, Brad. Enjoy the game.
Okay, boys. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. There he goes. Brad Shim, voice of the Cowboys, brought to you by the WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. And now we welcome in 1/3 of the broadcast team with Christy Scales, Cowboys sideline reporter. Let's get Christy's keys to the game, brought to you by Pollock Aurora, proud supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Christy, you already gave us the bummer news about J-Ron Curse. Anything else we need to know?
Well, the fact that he is listed as questionable is good. He did have to be helped off after landing awkwardly on that left leg, hurting that left knee in pregame warmups. But just before the team concluded all of the pregame warmups, he came back out. He did not go on the field. He was behind the end zone talking with head athletic trainer Jim Maurer. So we'll see. We're hopeful that he may be able to play. But if not, you heard Brad mention the name Israel Mukwamu. He's really the only other true backup safety that's available because safety Marquise Bell is inactive today. The other thing is if Curse is not able to play, he's one of your 3 green dot helmets, and that rule is kind of like the inactives where you turn in a list of 3 names, and if one of those guys gets hurt, then too bad. It's not like you can add more. So there's always a domino effect, whether an injury happens during the week or if it happens literally 40 minutes before kickoff, as is this case with safety J-Ron Curse and his left knee.
Yeah, Christy, I mean, like you, I've been scrambling around, and it just
This
got
feel like
information
news
back that
fillers.
It is, like you said, the knee, but it appears that he'll be okay. Well, let's see if he might play or not. That's further to be determined as well.
And how much, do you have to limit him? So, we may see more Mukwamu just out of safety. Hey, against a team like this, even more reason to get up early and put it to him and hopefully have a fourth quarter like the Colts where you can let some of the young guys come in and finish out the game.
Christy, I'll ask you the same thing I asked Brad. What are you more intrigued by today? Watching Kelvin Joseph defensively getting the start or the debut of James Washington?
Joseph, although, again, they without their 2 top wide receivers, but how Joseph is able to perform over this past last month of the season heading into the playoffs as you make your postseason push, that's more important because they have to rely on him, especially offenses not wanting to throw.
All right, y'all.
Diggs,
I'm going to shut this stream down, and then we're going to start up another one. Appreciate all of y'all for jumping in.
They're going to get a lot of work, so I really want to see Joseph step up today.
All right, so from my understanding of all of this, look, it sounds like some fillers, man. Shout out to J-Rock, man. And if he plays, he plays. If he not, then next man to up. This team could use the linebacker role. Think about this. We use so many safeties as our linebackers. Then this could be more tick for one of our linebackers that we just may see. It may be Luke Gifford. It may be, who knows, Cowboy Nation, but let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. And that's what you're supposed to be ready and be prepared for, even if it's the first quarter and this were to happen, right? You just got to be ready. And I always tell people all the time, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. Just 2 years ago, no one even knew of the J-Ron Curse, right? Just a few years ago, people were thinking about, hey, what if Donovan Wilson this and what if Donovan Wilson that? And excuse me, from my understanding, J-Ron Curse did miss a few games earlier this season. So let's not say that, hey, man, he's the reason why. Because if you're looking for excuses long enough, it will come to your front door with a 3-piece suit on saying, surprise, I'm here. If you look for it. Next man up, Cowboy Nation. All right, so I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're going to get on up out of here. Let's go. Let's go, and we'll kick this show right back on. The name is Law Nation. Come on. Be right back for your play-by-play analysis from yours truly, Law Nation Sports.